Hello again. All right, this is going to be the final review for today. I think because I've done before, I kind of deserve a bit of a world break. And this is a very recent read. I literally finished this today. So, yeah, I read Release. You cannot see the title at all. Even it's quite difficult to read. Release by Patrick Ness. And I actually was introduced to Patrick Ness last year when I watched Class, which is the Doctor Who spin-off, which infuriatingly was a very popular show, but because of the very not best way to kind of distribute it in the UK, it didn't do as well as it would have done, as well as it did in BBC America. If anything, shows its popularity, but because it did okay over here and great over there, it's kind of up in the air whether we're going to get a season two. But again, I'm going to do a Class video completely. So yeah, what I loved about Patrick Ness was how he really captured young adults and the diversity of his characters, and it was just something that was really refreshing to me. But I really don't want to go into Class because I feel like if I do, I will kind of miss the point of this video. So yeah, this video is about Release, and it's a very kind of interesting read. It was uh, Patrick Ness kind of said in the book that it was inspired by, one moment, Virginia Woolf and Judy Blume's. So Virginia Woolf's Mrs. Dalloway, and Judy Blume's Forever. So those two books really inspired the kind of, I think, the structure, but also the kind of story as well. But yeah, Release is about Adam Thorn, who is a openly gay guy. He's 17, and this is basically, it goes over the course of one day. And Adam is very open, well, he's open as he can be about his sexuality, but he lives in a very religious family, like extremely religious, who are kind of still living in dark ages. And I think because of that, Adam's idea of love, or what love should be, is not what you would expect. So yeah, this kind of goes over the course of Adam's kind of life in one day, and he basically gets hit with one knock after another. So again, what I loved about this was the writing, and I kind of felt like this would be a very good script. I mean, I know Patrick Ness is a screenwriter, but there was a lot of really good dialogue in here, and I feel like this would be a really good script to, well, this would be a really good book to adapt into a script. And what really struck me was I didn't sympathize with Adam, but I empathized with him. That was a very interesting place for me to be because I didn't necessarily like him, or I liked him, but I really didn't agree with his decisions and the way he viewed certain people. He was very naive in that way. So Adam has, um, he basically has to come to terms with what or who is kind of gives him that love he needs, because there is a line that really stuck out. He said to his boyfriend, "Don't leave me unloved." And I feel like that was the main core of this story, where Adam was, or felt like he was unloved. And because of that, he was looking for it in all the wrong places. One of these places was his ex-boyfriend, Enzo, which is probably the most annoyingly arrogant and obnoxious character that you could ever read. But because you're reading it through Adam's perspective, he is actually kind of, he's only seeing the good things, or what the good things he thought was good about this relationship. But as an outside reader, when you're reading this, you're more observant than Adam, because you're noticing, wait, that's not a good relationship. That's not a healthy relationship. That's not a genuine relationship. And what I really loved about this was you saw the contrast with that and what Adam was still holding on to, because it was his idea of hope, in a way. His first kind of, even though it wasn't a good relationship, it was his first kind of inkling that there is a life out of the small town he lives in. Even though he is with a absolutely wonderful guy who is smitten with him, and Linus, yeah, Linus. I got that name right. Linus is Adam's current boyfriend, and I shipped them straight away. He is just someone who's completely comfortable in his own skin, and it just really kind of drove home that Adam really didn't know what was a good relationship. He had a good one in front of him, but a big part of him was still holding on to what he could have had with his ex Enzo. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about this, but I'm also going to talk about the other side of the story, which is an interesting twist. So, as I've said, Adam lives in a very religious family, and religion and sexuality was a very kind of conflicting, well, not really conflicting, because Adam was kind of, he'd come to terms with it, but he hadn't come to terms with the fact that the people he wanted to be okay with it weren't okay with it, or they weren't okay with it yet. And with the people who were okay with it and loved him anyway, so he really weren't sort of seeing throughout this book, which it felt very honest that Adam was one of those people you really didn't see was in front of him. So yeah, it was mainly just him coming to him actually realizing that he was loved, and although it might not be by the people he originally wanted to, that love was also good, and if not better, to actually have love at all. And I'm just going to say, Angela, I absolutely adore Angela Darlington. She is the ideal best friend, and I have to admit, I do have a friend who I can kind of see in Angela. Yeah. So shout out to Kat. I kind of really saw you in this book, and so yeah, Angela Darlington was a really good character. All of the characters were, and again, what I love about Patrick West is the diversity of the cast, and not drawing attention to the diversity, because I cannot stress how exasperating it is to read a bunch of straight white people in other books that I've read and not kind of see any kind of different characters who are gays, LGBT, or a different ethnicity or different religion, or they have a disability. Patrick Ness really doesn't shy away from these issues, which I absolutely love in his writing. So yeah, this is, again, but this wasn't a normal read. So you had that story going on, but you also had running parallel a kind of Pan's Labyrinth vibe going, where a girl who had been murdered before the start of the book, her body is taken over by, well, no, her spirit lingers on the earth for a day. And religion is such a big part of this book, I can only assume that the queen is God, or the creator, whatever you call it, whatever religion you're from. The queen in herself was the representation of the creator of the world in a way. So yeah, the queen, the second story was about the queen who was attached to a girl who had been murdered their souls had kind of intertwined, and because of that, the the body of the girl who had kind of manifested back into the real world. So these two souls that are kind of battling it out for kind of control in a way are kind of on this quest to get justice or closure. So when the Queen realizes this, she is actually more than willing to go along with Catherine, who is a dead girl, and kind of try and find out where her home was. Adam was looking for love, but Catherine was looking for home. And two very crucial things that both of these characters were trying to find. And it was really interesting how both stories kind of really intertwined. And that was and it was beautifully written as well. Like Patrick Ness, that he's a great screenwriter, but reading his books and the way he writes characters and dialogue, it was just so gripping. Like I literally could not put it down. It was one of those books that I was looking forward to reading. I was finding spare time to read. And that in itself was why I had to unfortunately stop with Still Starcross. Because unfortunately, although it was good, I could have gone days without reading it. But going back to this book, so what was interesting about it was both stories kind of really intertwined in a very subtle way. And it really they kind of helped each other, but then also Catherine and the Queen and Adam and the Fawn. Well, oh yeah, I've really got to talk about the Fawn. The Fawn is kind of, again, what made me really think of Pan's Labyrinth, was the Fawn was kind of the Queen's protector. And he basically needed to get the Queen back to the other realm before sundown. So everyone was essentially on a ticking time bomb. So the Fawn needed to get the Queen back to the other realm, because if he didn't, the universe would have ended. It was that bleak. The Queen wanted to help Catherine find closure from the person who murdered her, who was supposedly someone who loved her, which again, that's not real love. So again, and Catherine was in herself trying to find her home before she could find peace. So what was home to her? And same with Adam, trying to find out what love meant. Proper unconditional love. Love without sort of conditions or exceptions, just unfiltered and just unconditional love. Although he had it, he was looking for it in the wrong places. So a lot of people were on these kind of quests in a way. And that was what really kept the story moving, because where you was reading about one story, you had little reference to the other story. And the way all of these characters kind of came together at the end, bizarrely, was just so good. So, without a doubt, read this book, watch it. Well, you can't watch it yet. Read this book, listen to it, because I believe it may be on Audible. So, anyone who prefers audios or has difficulty with reading, I know some of my friends do, and they much prefer Audible. So yeah, read or listen to it, whatever floats your boat, but you will absolutely enjoy this book. So yeah, without a doubt, I've recently, because I finished it today, I've given it 5 stars, and I will be reviewing it on Goodreads. The 4 books I've reviewed, you will be seeing, I've essentially read 8 books this year. My goal for my reading challenge on Goodreads is to read 22, which isn't a massive amount, but with uni, I'm doing my own writing. I wanted to set myself a doable goal, but a goal that's not going to have me stressed out or disappointed. So I've read 8 of my 22 reads, but I've only reviewed 1 because I actually kind of reviewed it for a book tour. So yeah, I will be reviewing the other 7 this summer, hopefully. But yeah, definitely read Release. You really can't see the title. So yeah, read this book. I still recommend all of the books that I've read. Definitely read Sorry Not Sorry as well. Without doubt, these are probably the two that kind of really stuck out for me these last couple of months. So yeah, definitely pick these two up. And also, little shout out to Mr. Ness himself, because there are two books that inspired this story release. Mrs. Dalloway and Judy Blume, who wrote, no, sorry, Virginia Woolf, who wrote Mrs. Dalloway, and Judy Blume's, who wrote Forever. He even recommends reading these books, so I may pick those up. So yeah, but my next to last video, I'm going to do one more after this, is going to be talking about what books you're going to see me reviewing this summer. So yeah, an absolutely brilliant read, and my final video of today. I thought this was going to be it, but I thought, you know what, just do one more. I'm going to be talking about the books I'm going to be reading within the next few weeks. So I'm going to get those in a bit, and you'll probably see me in the same getup, in the same place. So yeah, read this book and read the other books I've recommended. You can follow me on Goodreads. I will start being more active on there. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this review. Anyone who has read this, I would really love to hear what you thought. And I just really want to get a dialogue going with fellow readers, just whether you like it, whether you don't like it. And I'm welcome to all opinions, because I know there are some books I've read on here where I don't like, but I love debating with people why they did or didn't like a book. And I respect people's opinions. You can't have an opinion and not respect someone else's. As long as it's done in a respectful, polite way, you should be allowed to say, yes, I love this book, or no, I didn't like it, but, and be able to have that conversation. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. Definitely pick this up, and I will see you guys in the next to last video, which I'll be doing right now. Alright, bye.